George Lucas is buying back Star Wars. Why do Star Wars fans believe such stupid shit? Why? It's not just Star Wars fans, it's people. Why do people believe such stupid shit? Why? George Lucas buying back Star Wars was apparently a rumor that kickstarted on the internet a few months ago. It popped up on some entertainment quote-unquote journalism websites, and that rumor was directly traceable to YouTube channels that we've all seen before for years that have a long track record of kickstarting endless baseless rumors. You know, if I watched someone for years and everything they said turned out to be bullshit, I think I would stop watching them forever. But no, people still pay attention to these folks that have a 0 batting average, and it is endlessly weird and fascinating to me. I've been making videos on YouTube since 2011, that's 12 years. 12 years of making videos about Star Wars on the internet. I have seen countless rumors come and go. Thousands, literally thousands of baseless nothings erupting from Mount Bullshit. I am used to it. I see something and it's pretty easy to tell when something is nonsense. Especially when the nonsense comes from the same sources we've seen for years over and over and over again. But I suppose if some viewers are new to the game, it could be easy to get duped into believing some of this stupid shit. Especially if your personal bias clouds your judgment. Hey, if you don't like modern Star Wars and you don't have a good bullshit detector in just regular life in general, well then you're probably more prone to get sucked into the endless void of noise. That personal bias clouds judgment and everything. There is this blind trust that some people have when they see something written or said on the internet, especially if it's in line with their opinions, their dislikes, their likes. In academia, there is peer review. In good journalism, there is vetting and fact-checking and research and confirmation. In this new world of digital talking heads, anyone can say anything. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. But there's no one sitting next to these talking heads saying, hey, that sounds like bullshit. Instead, vocal cords and keyboard fingers can sling rapid-fire bullshit into the void without any pushback. There's no checks and balances. And when it's possible to monetize this rapid-fire bullshit, what may have been a musket is now a Gatling gun. If there is a group of people who dislike something and want something to change, then someone with an audience can say anything and everything to appease their wants and wishes and appeal to their rage and disappointment, no matter how outlandish or flat out fake it is. If you don't like the current direction of Star Wars, you are probably way more prone to believe this stupid George Lucas is buying back Star Wars internet bullshit. One can make money feeding bullshit to open-mouthed baby birds. I feel like I've seen a major uptick in nonsense on Twitter or X or whatever the hell you want to call it, ever since it became possible to monetize engagement. I have seen the absolute dumbest shit posted there, and it gets a ton of engagement. And a part of me is like, does the poster actually believe this stupid shit? Or are they just throwing something into the void to rile people up and get them to engage? It has seemingly created this new world of dishonesty that human beings have not yet adapted to. Adapting to this will be a Herculean effort. I mean, it might take a generation to kind of adapt to what the flow of information has become. But I have faith that the younger generations will be way more savvy at sifting through information. You know, they're born into this world of monetizable deception. I think they will be far better equipped to navigate the internet than older folks when they're older. There's also another aspect to all of this that I find just interesting. You know, people believing that an individual is on their team or secretly on their team. Like an example would be Dave Filoni, right? People love Dave Filoni. People hold him up as the savior of Star Wars or the face of Star Wars, the new curator of Star Wars. And in this, A lot of people assumed that, and I don't know where they got this from other than maybe their own personal bias and personal hopes, but a lot of people assumed that Dave Filoni was trying to quote-unquote save Star Wars, like he was trying to start a mutiny against Kathleen Kennedy, right? They assumed that he was on their team, secretly plotting to take over leadership of the franchise and erase the sequels and erase what these people didn't like about the new stuff. Meanwhile, Filoni was never that guy. He was never that guy. They were just projecting their hopes and wishes and personal feelings onto this man. This man became like an avatar they could all put their faith into because, for whatever reason, they believed that he believed in what they believed. So I find it fascinating how human beings can automatically assume something about someone based on their own personal feelings. People get turned into caricatures and voodoo dolls, and they get categorized by others who are projecting themselves onto, an individual. And then when those people realize that that individual is not who they hoped they were, well, then they turn against that individual, despite that individual never being on their team or any other team and not feeling the same way that they felt. It's so strange to me. People are messy. Don't step in the bullshit. Beware of the monetizable outrage and how it can dictate the abundance of stupid bullshit.